title, you scumbags.
Covering everything from the green and gold to pro, college, and high school sports around South Central Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the Daily Dodge TV studios. This is the Damn Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
9 days until Wally's bowling extravaganza. Cannot wait. We did a little site visit at Tower Lanes yesterday to work out some details. The stream's going to go great. February 21st, Tower Lanes here in Beaver Dam, right off of Spring Street. Be there or tune in to Daily Dodge TV anytime on February 21st. We'll be doing it for a while, likely an open to close shift. Jason Wilde joins us in the first block today on the Damn Sports Show, brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. Tom from Real Sports Cards in Waupun will be joining us in segments 2 and 3 to do a live Series 1 card break ahead of the MLB season. He'll explain what that means, and he'll explain the value of some of the cards that we'll be opening up. We have a nice little overhead cam that will give us a good view of that. And we wrap up, as we always do on Wednesdays, with friends of the program here on the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Now, Wally, you were telling me before we got going that you're starting to get a little more excited for this event, whereas the last week and a half, you've been more panicked. Now you're like, it could be a fun event.
You know how they have like the 5 stages of grief?
Yeah, you're going through it.
Bargaining right now where I'm like, it's going to be great. I'm going to see a lot of my friends, my teammates. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be out there. Everybody's going to have smiles on their face. Maybe I won't, but I'm going to keep pushing that down the line. So I'm at this point, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Maybe check back in on me next week, but at this point, I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge.
Okay. Well, one of those teammates we might be seeing is 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, who joins us now. You can listen to him live on Wilde and Tausch. That's weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon on ESPN Wisconsin, Wisconsin On Demand. You can also go to Wisconsin On Demand and go under the Jason Wilde tab. Jason, hope all is well. I heard you on the show last week agreeing with Wally that I'm delusional for thinking I can make a 30-yard field goal. Can I at least get a percent chance that I get this done? I'm curious where you're at.
Well, first of all, Walter over there has his own issues to deal with.
That's fair.
Pending bowling business. But that said, I would put it at about 14% that you would make a 30-yard field goal.
It's higher than I expected, to be honest. I'm still at the point. I think that he's so in his head right now. This is easy. As soon as there's people around.
That's where you're wrong. I have never said this is easy, but I said if you give me a month to just hyper focus and obsess about this, it's going to be better. There's a better chance that I get it than I
Jason,
do now.
The one thing I'll say is that I can't speak for Pablo's intentions if he actually feels that he can do it. I can tell you with 100% certainty, Corey genuinely believes that he can do this.
So wait, he's going to have a month to practice it?
Yeah.
But there's not going to be a line. He's going to be kicking off a tee. No one's in the building. I'm not worried about giving him a month.
Maybe I'll get the team to help me practice.
Yeah.
I think the practice time would be so beneficial to him. I would up it to 28 to 33% that he would make it.
That's the argument. And Wally, I hope you didn't relay this false information to Jason that I think I can just go out there right now and drill a 30-yarder. Because I don't think I can. But I'm saying if you give me 30 days to hyper-focus, it is more likely than not. Now, Jason says 30. I'm going 60% that I make this thing. But he's closer to me than I thought.
I'm reviewing the tape on that. I'm pretty sure I laid it out.
Is the Beaver Dam Golden Fevers special teams coordinator going to coach you up also? Because that also alters the calculus of what I would predict.
Do you think that should be allowed? I can do that.
Yeah.
We've got connections here.
Obviously, you guys do a great job of covering Beaver Dam. If you want to expand and include other high schools, I know you get out to do other games throughout the seasons. So if you want to go to Waupun or you want to go, trek all the way down to Columbus, maybe get one of their coaches to help you, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But, yeah, I think if you get coaching, that would be an opportunity to even increase your likelihood even more. The fact that you think it's 60% with no coaching, you're still ridiculous.
Okay, no coaching. That's a good point, because I said I would just be practicing by myself. I don't know. If I get coaching, all right, let's say a month of coaching, I am meeting with the special teams coordinator for Beaver Dam twice a week for a month, so we get like 8 sessions in there. Then what is my
This
chance?
show is just turning into Jackass Does Sports.
Yeah, you're right. It is. I can't. Well, let's be honest. The show is starting to, as a whole, trend that way between the bowling thing and now the field goal kicking thing. So, you've got your own challenges. I can just tell you this. We did an event for Associated Bank at Titletown here in Green Bay, and Jesse thought he could make a field goal at Titletown. Now, he did not practice. He did not get coaching. He complained that I overinflated the ball, so it was too hard. There wasn't enough give in the ball, which I thought was a pretty weak excuse. But he like squib kicked it. Like, he didn't even get the ball in the air.
Yeah, I can't. I'll believe he'll get at least in the air. He's going to pull this thing. Or he's pushing.
With all due respect, I am not Jesse Nelson.
That
is true, and that's a good.
Gosh. All right.
Do with that information what you will. All right. Okay, one more thing before we move on. Pablo also claimed, Jason, that he could drill a 30-yarder. He said he's seen pressure under the lights before and doing like stand-up reports and stuff. I just think I'm built for it. Who would you bet on, if you had to, between me and Pablo, making a 30-yard field goal in an in-game 11-on-11 scenario?
Yeah, I'm picking you in part because as overconfident as you are, Pablo's even more overconfident. I mean, the idea of comparing a stand-up for television to kicking a 30-yard field goal with the crowd cheering or whatever, like, those aren't the same. But quite frankly, I love Pablo. He's a great new teammate. We're excited to have him. He did a great job filling in for you since you've taken almost as much time off as Tausch and Jesse.
I'm trying to get up there.
I would say this. I'm much more interested in Tom from Real Sports Cards. I'm much more interested in what he has to say than Pablo, and I can't wait to bring my Robin Yount card collection and have it evaluated by him.
Oh, we'll be fired up for that. Yeah, well, Ponce on a Ford Drive, Jason. We're always willing to have you down here in the Dodge County area, but we'll transition into some Packer talk now anyways.
Yeah, we've seen Jason Keyshawn Nixon's putting his recruit game on display. Do you think the whole Twitter, I'm going to tag Max Crosby and say, come over to a real team, does that work? Does that work often? Does that ever work?
Well, no, but he's not just doing that. I mean, he played with Max Crosby in Vegas. Josh Jacobs played with Max Crosby in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Josh Jacobs also played with Devontae Adams, which Keyshawn actually didn't. Keyshawn and Tay were kind of two ships passing in the night.
Sure.
The Packers traded Devontae on on Sydney's birthday, March 17th of 2022, and I think the Packers signed Keyshawn from the Raiders shortly thereafter. So, I don't know what his connection is to Devontae, but again, Josh Jacobs played with Devontae for 2 years in Vegas. So there's a legitimate connection there. I think Keyshawn was doing that not so much to recruit Tay, but to create buzz and maybe get some new Twitter followers. But the fact of the matter is I think both those guys are genuinely recruiting Max Crosby and Devontae Adams. Now, whether or not they're going to be successful, probably not. But, I don't think it's a game changer, but it doesn't hurt, right? And this is one of the things that Aaron Rodgers argued when he was frustrated about how he wasn't really part of any conversations with Goody because Goody took the Brad Pitt in Moneyball approach to player interactions, which was, I can't get close to these guys, I have to cut them or trade them. And so Rodgers never had that. And I would have thought that Aaron Rodgers would be a pretty good recruiting tool, right? It's kind of the opposite of college football where you're basically doing whatever you can to get people to come to your school, including the NIL deals. That it's interesting that at least previously Rodgers was not part of that, whereas Josh Jacobs seems to me like he's just decided to do it on his own.
Right. Without
Goody asking him to do it. So whether it leads to either one of those guys on the roster, like I wrote in the State Journal today, Devontae is definitely open to coming back to Green Bay. Whether or not that actually comes to fruition comes down to a lot of things, including first and foremost him being cut by the Jets and being available.
Well, every single year, it feels like these trade rumblings, they surround every fan base with fans clamoring for a big move. But something feels a little different, at least to me this year with the Packers in these discussions. Whether it's a Devontae reunion, a Max Crosby blockbuster, or even just signing a stud like T. Higgins, are you with me? Do you kind of expect there to be a big splash in the next month or so from Green Bay?
No, Walter. I don't.
I love the subtle droppings of Walter instead of Wally today.
I feel like I'm getting in trouble. Like my mom is going to yell at me again when I hear Walter.
No, you're not in trouble at all. I'm just excited. I learned that from LinkedIn, which I very, very, very rarely use, but got some sort of notification that Walter Lukaczynski liked a post or something. No, like, do I think it's possible? Sure. Do I think it's likely? I don't think the Myles Garrett, Max Crosby stuff is likely. I also don't know if Devontae Adams, a reunion there necessarily constitutes what you would call a blockbuster necessarily. It would certainly be significant, but the Crosby thing, you're giving up multiple draft picks to get him. I think that would be a blockbuster. I don't think getting Devontae back, especially if you're able to sign him after he's been released, that strikes me more as just a really good signing of a veteran player who can help your team a ton.
So let's say the blockbuster scenario does happen. They add a pass rusher like Max Crosby. Jason, do you think that makes sense for both sides? Like Pete Carroll's coming into Vegas. They might need to trade up if they want to get their QB this year. And Green Bay needs that pass rushing presence. Would you say that's a fair trade? I mean, depending on all the details, of course.
No. Hold on one second. Hey, have a good practice. I love you.
I love it. Jason the father. Let's go.
Yeah. I didn't hit the mute button quickly enough, and Sid was already getting out of the car for
You're okay. Don't worry about it.
Practice. No, I'll bring your basketball bag to pick up. Not you, Walter. You have to handle your own basketball bag. Because she's got volleyball and basketball tonight.
Oh, my.
I could take the garbage, yeah, thanks. I would say this. I don't know what Pete Carroll intends to do in terms of, is he selling these guys on kind of basically re-recruiting them to stay in Vegas, or if they're going to start over in some way? I would say this: if I'm Max Crosby and I've been through what I've been through in Vegas, maybe I find it rather pleasant that I have a legit Super Bowl winning coach who is now the head coach, and maybe I want to stay there, right? Maybe I think he's the right guy to get this team that I've been devoted to for so long going in the right direction. And if that's the case, then maybe he's not interested in a trade that sends him somewhere else. But again, losing is tiresome. And if I'm a guy who's been on those teams, like you saw with Josh Jacobs, like he was completely revitalized by playing in Green Bay. And even though they lost the playoff game, he was thrilled to even be playing in the playoffs. He'd only played in one playoff game before. So that does have value, and if somebody wants to force their way out, they certainly want to force themselves to a team that's going to win.
Well, I want to wrap up with this, Jason. I think a lot of Packers fans still have a little PTSD from the Brett Favre goes to New York and then goes to Minnesota, directly competes with them, and almost goes to a Super Bowl. With the idea that the Jets are now moving on from Aaron Rodgers, that kind of jumped back into my head. Assuming he has a say in where he is going to go next year, what do you think, I guess, is the big motivating factor for Aaron Rodgers in picking a new location?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think he's motivated the way Brett was to stick it to the Packers. That is, I mean, he wanted to go, I know you guys were just like grade schoolers back then, but he wanted to go directly to the Vikings right away. I mean, the Vikings clearly tampered with him when he was deciding to unretire, and his goal was to force his way out of Green Bay and into Minnesota, where Brad Childress and Darrell Bevel was the quarterback's or offensive coordinator. I mean, he wanted to go directly there, and instead he had the one-year detour to the Jets. It would be wild, and I have to admit, I saw someone did a AI photo of Rodgers as a Viking.
Oh, boy.
And I may have screen shot that and sent it to Rodgers with the line, I'm on board with this. Because, again, from a storyteller's perspective, I think that would be amazing. And I am signed up for that. But I don't think, my point is that I don't think it would have the same vitriol that the Favre to the Vikings had. I think that's the most important thing, is that I think Rodgers' biggest motivation would be the idea that I don't want to go out the way I went out with the Jets. I want an opportunity to go and be and go out there and play at the level that I'm capable.
Respect to you for sending Rodgers that AI-generated photo and going, food for thought?
Maybe think about it. Makes my job a lot easier next year with writing topics.
I love it. Jason, as always, we appreciate the time. Speaking of the Vikings, 9 days until Mr. Lukashinsky over here, Walter, as we call him, has to do the Sam Darnold challenge and bowl until he gets 4,300 pins. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, we always appreciate the time.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Awesome stuff. That is hilarious. He sent Rodgers a text going,
Doesn't it feel like if you close your eyes and you imagine Aaron Rodgers in a Viking uniform, though, a lot of times you see these like AI or like Photoshop jerseys, like that doesn't look right. That just simply isn't in the cards. I don't have that feeling with Aaron Rodgers. I can see him.
The stars are aligning, and we can thank what Sam Darnold did in the last 3 weeks of his Vikings career for the fact that this is even a possibility. Because if that team went to the NFC Championship and made a little run, we're not talking about this.
No, and it probably cost Sam Darnold quite a bit of money, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a very consequential final few weeks of the Viking season anyways.
When we come back, Tom from Real Sports Cards in Waupun joins us. We'll talk the app. We'll talk the resource that his shop is in Waupun. And we're going to break open some cards on Series 1 release day here on the Damn Sports Show. Presented to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where sports fans come to play.
Welcome back to the Damn Sports Show, presented to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. Corey Sparks, Wally Lukashinsky here with you. And now we have Tom from Real Sports Cards in the flesh. How are we doing?
It's awesome. I'm awesome to be here with you guys.
We appreciate
We're fired
it.
up to have you, too. And you already got the goodies out in front of us. We'll be opening that up in the third block today. But I got to ask, first of all, for people like me that always like sports cards, but it's kind of like become this like booming industry lately, what is Series 1 and what makes today such a special day?
Yeah. So sports cards are cool again. You got to remember that. So today is the first, it's release day, and we always celebrate release day, but it's extra special because it's the first product of 2025. So, if you're old like me, you remember Topps. You bought your packs, kind of the base set. That's what Series 1 is. Has the base set, but Topps in the last like 5 or 6 years has really made Series 1 pretty awesome. So we'll look for numbered cards, look for autographed cards, look for different parallels, there's some different hidden stuff that they're putting in it. And it's just a big celebration. It's like, thank God baseball's here. Spring training, pitchers and catchers report, and of course we get a couple into the snow, but the Series 1 is like a big holiday for us. Yeah, it's a huge day.
Well, I have to ask as well, because I grew up and it was like this massive deal when you would get like a jersey card.
Yeah.
Or you got like, it feels like they've kind of turned into like their own separate market too. Now you're telling me you can buy these packs and you're going to be kind of surprised where there are some cool, unique cards that it's not just your old school, I'm opening up Dimitri Young in Washington. Be like, give me a parade. That's great.
Yeah, it's, I'm excited. And I brought 2 boxes of hobby, which means in each box you're going to get an autograph or a relic card amongst all your cards. So, and there's different price points for every different collector. Like in our store, we sell these. They're $99 a box. You can buy a jumbo box, which has 1 guaranteed auto and two guaranteed relics. Those are $199. Then if you want to go crazy, you can go all the way up to a product called a Gilded Collection, which has like 7 cards and it's $1,200. And so that has different autographs. And then, so there's also a price point of Series 1, a smaller box we call a Blaster. It's $30. So it's all different price point, and that's the beauty of having a card shop is when you have this mix of social economical collectors. You can have kids that are going through the quarter box and they're spending $1 and that means the most to them, right? Then you can have adults that are literally spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and then everything in between. So, and one thing I did tell you that to celebrate that, along with Series 1, Topps has a hobby rip night, and next Saturday from 4 to 7 at the shop is a hobby rip night. And we're going to have a lot of fun, and that's a good event.
That's awesome. So obviously, 5 minutes in, our listeners can tell a decent amount about the sports cards market. Could you tell everyone a little bit about Real Sports Cards?
Yeah. It's funny you say decent amount. People always say, man, you know so much. In life, I only know about one thing. One thing. Ask my wife.
Hey, if you can be the best at something, right?
I know about sports cards. Besides that, don't ask me anything else. So a little bit about Real Sports Cards. So in 2016, I've always collected cards my whole life. I used to work in minor league baseball. I worked for the Tim Rattlers for a long time, and I was working for a school district in Fort Atkinson. 2016, my long story short, my wife is pregnant with our 4th child. Our 4th child, we know he has major crazy heart problems before he's born, but we also knew most likely he'd have Down syndrome. Down syndrome never really mattered to us. It was all about the heart. So we knew he had to have heart surgery. My wife had to be in the hospital for a lot. So one of us had to take off of work. She's much better with the kids than I am, still to this day. So she took off of work to be with him in the hospital for months upon end. We didn't make enough money on my job, so I started selling baseball cards at night. That's how it all started.
Okay.
I linked up with a guy on Facebook, happened to live in Minnesota, yada, yada, yada. And I own our own company here. He has one in Minnesota. We have a store at each one. And it's really developed. Our main bread and butter is our app that we developed. It's called the Real Sports Card app on the Google and Apple Play Store. You can buy into online breaks. You can come into the shop, buy singles, buy boxes. You can kind of do it all.
Yeah, you mentioned just now you can buy online. So people looking outside get 8 inches of snow today.
Yeah.
We're fired up talking about Series 1.
Don't leave your couch. Yeah.
Don't leave your couch. You can just go to the app and you can go right from there. Don't have to make the long
Dig the car out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And we get, you would be shocked and that happens all the time. People come in the store and they download our app and they're like, oh, I can do this. Like when I'm going back to the store tonight at 5:30, I'll be live opening a case of Series 1. We'll be opening till 2, 3 in the morning because we sell to collectors all around the world. So 2 o'clock here in the morning it's only midnight in the West Coast, and early in the morning it's evening in Europe. Like, so it all works out. So, but we get a lot of local collectors. Then they can come in, they can pick up their things and like that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I've got one more broad question, and we'll throw it to break. Come back and start actually opening some of these cards here. You said that sports cards are cool again.
They absolutely are. Huge.
So what changed? What has it that's brought this resurgence of sports cards and this fanatical fan base kind of back into this at a new level than we've ever seen?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Good interviewer over here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're neat. They're like, a lot of what the big part is, a lot of the athletes, a lot of the players collect themselves. That's what's made it cool. When you see, I know Jake Paul, I can roll my eyes all day long, but when he comes out with $1 million Pokemon card around his neck, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that helped Pokemon a ton. We have on our Real Sports Card app, we have a lot of interviews. We'll interview players, and we had players in Series 1 buying into our breaks. Like, we have active Major League Baseball players all the time buying into our breaks, chasing their cards.
Are they looking for their own cards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing we do with Series 1, we have 6 cases, and it's pick your players, like 260 spots. We have one open right now. We filled one overnight. I know for a fact there's a couple current Major League players that were buying their own rookie spots to get all their own cards.
That's
It's
crazy.
awesome. And so with that and the interaction, and now with Fanatics has taken it to a whole new level. So Fanatics bought Topps a couple years ago. That's been massive, just massive for our industry. So they have baseball. In the fall, they have the NBA license. The year after, they have NFL license, and it's going gangbusters. It's pretty awesome.
I just know that if I was like a utility second baseman, I'm the guy that's buying like Shohei Ohtani cards. We're going to cross our fingers. He calls me up and figure something out here.
No, a lot of them collect their own, but then they collect all the other guys.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It happens all the time.
I wonder if anybody gets in a bidding war with another MLB player for their own card. Like, is Skeens going at it with Brian Reynolds right now?
You heard what Paul Skeens initially, when they had that card come out last year, everybody's seen that kid in California got it. But he's just like, hey, you let me know. I'd be happy to figure something out here for the card.
Next best offer. Yep.
Amen.
Well, Tom, happy release day. We're excited to start to crack some of these boxes open. We'll do that after the break here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV.
This is Tim
This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV, brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. We have Tom from Real Sports Cards here, and we're going to do a break. For you radio listeners, we're going to do our best to describe it. Otherwise, please tune into Daily Dodge TV on YouTube. You'll get a much better visual, and the majority of this block is going to be on this little overhead cam we have, where you're going to get a crystal clear picture of what cards we're breaking open.
Yeah, got to give a shout out, first of all, to Justin Wilski setting this up. So we have this cards, or this camera for this shot. So like Corey said, make sure you're watching on Daily Dodge TV. But without further ado, Tom, I'm handing it over to you. Let's see what we got.
We're going to get
rip
into it right away. So Top Series 1, this is a hobby box, so 12 cards per pack. We'll get rid of the...
Oh boy! Oh, this is you handing me this is the scariest thing you've ever done.
So first thing you'll see, there's a special pack on top. These are called silver packs. There's 4 cards in a pack. They're pretty cool. We'll pick it up later.
Yeah,
so,
gotcha. Don't worry
so
about
these are called Mojo cards, aren't they neat?
Oh my gosh! I saw a USA Today article saying that they had this new look, and what you kind of got this. What would you call it? Like a fluorescent, not fluorescent.
Like not neon, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I know.
It's
like,
popping.
This is great for radio. I'm trying to describe it.
So they're celebrating. They always celebrate a past year. So right now we're celebrating. It goes back 35 years. So we're celebrating 1990. So these are 90 designs. So yeah, so you get a little Yamamoto.
There we go.
Yamamoto second year. So those are okay. We're not. So,
that doesn't move the needle for you personally in there?
No, nothing moves the needle. They're cool. So then what you're looking for, so here's your base. The base design's nice this year. It has the nice foil there. You can tell the rookie card here. And so what you're looking for, we'll find some good stuff. These, it's a different insert sets. Call the Hall, little Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. He's in it this year. So a big thing, Barry Bonds has autos in it this year. Barry Bonds hasn't had autos forever. So if we hit a Pirates Barry Bonds auto, I want to see you go absolutely berserk.
Start flipping off the table.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to say, I was telling you guys in the break, there's going to be like Cheeto.
You act like it's going to turn to dust.
It might if I touch it.
So, that's cool. It's a cool Ohtani, like a spring training Cactus League card. I kind of like that.
Just casual, pulling out a Shohei Ohtani here, too.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna try to open one of these if I'm allowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm terrified, but I'm gonna do my best. If I see anything of value, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
So there you go. That's a cool one. Jackson Holiday, future star. So when we do breaks, while we do it, so on our Real Sports Card app. So the best way to describe it is we sell individual teams. So if you're a Brewer fan, a collector, you can buy the Brewers, and then when we open a case, you get every single Brewer card shipped to you. That's the most basic way to describe it. I was saying earlier, we have right now up is like a 6 out of our Minnesota store. Here's a cool Mike Trout. Everything Mike Trout I like. There's not really much value in that.
I saw he was rated 38th or 39th best player the other day, and it's like, I don't care if he has one leg. He's better than 39th in baseball right now.
Yeah, I always respect Mike Trout. So we're looking for in this box, you're going to get an autograph or a relic card. Here you go. Look at the 1990 design, little Bo Jackson. Oh. Kind of cool. You're also looking at rookies. It's always big rookies. This year you got, Waldrop's not a bad for the Braves. Dylan Cruz, I was just going to say. So that's probably your best rookie you're looking for this year.
Oh, I see you with the O'Neal Cruz up top there.
O'Neal Cruz.
I can't believe that's what we're blowing by. That should be the most valuable card in this pack.
Oh, of course.
O'Neal Cruz. I've lost a lot of money on O'Neal Cruz.
You're going to gain it back.
So here you go.
Diamond hands.
So this is like a foil card, so a special foil card. A lot of times they'll put them in upside down, just so you know.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. So.
See, I've got a little kid brain where I see the shiny, I just immediately.
You're like, that's valuable.
Be it. Yeah. That's the card I'm looking for right there.
We got an auto or relic coming.
Yeah, we do. And I just saw a Brewer in here. Who was it? That has to be something good. That's a different looking
Bobby
card.
Witt Jr.
Let me go in there. The setup for the
fellow card collector.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I was saying Bobby's big in the cards.
Yeah. Christian Yelich got there.
Go.
You got your Brewers love. And it was kind of like Tom was saying. You can go out there and box out whatever team you're looking for if it's available.
Yeah, and that's what's fun about it's just collecting.
Sorry, I'm out here trying to
That's all right.
take your
we got 2. Just rip. Oh, this one's a little thicker.
Oh, that feels like a
good sign.
Right?
No, maybe not. Maybe it was a little false start. So, nice Ohtani.
So wait, so when you're feeling it like that, is that the vibe you guys are getting? Is this like, this is the pack right here? Like when they have that different feel, is that what you're going for?
Sometimes you can tell if it's a relic card.
Oh man, I was gonna say
What's
I got
Wally got
another
over
one
there?
here, Trevor. Oh, Brewers. Sorry, I have a very tracked mind. Now you have one of these old school cards. I remember these from back in the day, where you have 3 players on the same one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, league leaders type cards. Yeah.
okay.
Those were big. Oh, here you go. James Wood. Nice rookie there.
Oh,
Awesome.
we got one. We got a jersey
Yeah.
card with Ellie De La Cruz.
Ooh.
That's cool. Yeah, there you go. So you got
That's
Ellie
awesome.
De La Cruz jersey card.
And see, those when I was growing up, it was just something. So that was played in. That's
Mm-hmm.
not just like, hey, Ellie was in a practice and threw
So-
a baseball once.
Oh, this is actually a really good card. Yeah, so not really. So they do
Okay.
have game. They have
Good to
game
know, though.
jerseys,
Yeah.
That is good to know.
But so this one will say player worn memorabilia.
Okay.
So, but we actually got that. It's cool. It's a nice card, but I just pulled. I don't know. This guy's not Dylan Dingler. He's a rookie, but see, it's different. These are actually really hard to hit. So it's just a photo. There's no writing on the front.
Oh,
It's kind of like a cool insert set. They started last year.
huh.
So that's a new thing where it's literally just kind of a portrait.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just
player.
I actually think it's called portrait. The portrait set. So
Look at you, Wally.
Look at
I'm
you.
on top of the
Yeah.
world, guys.
So yeah, and it's just different, creative, clean things. So you can start ripping this other one. Oh, you got it right in front of you.
Oh my goodness, this is.
The silver.
No
pack's the
pressure,
best.
Wally.
Yeah, rip the
I know.
silver
I'm
pack.
like terrified of like opening the box wrong.
Yeah, just don't like
Here, I'm
chew
gonna
it
hand this
open.
over to you until you get it open. Once we get it open, I trust myself to actually open a
Here,
pack.
open that. Those are really good.
Oh
The
gosh,
silver
you're
pack.
handing me
All right,
an
there we go.
impressive looking pack here. And I'm a
The
little
silver
worried
packs
about
are
it.
only in hobby. Yeah, they're pretty fun. So you kind of get lost in it. You can just
I can see why you said you will sit there for hours and go through these.
Yeah.
It's very easy to see why.
and then we'll get on our
Dylan Cruz.
there you go. On our app we'll get people. We'll get people all the
Frank
time.
Thomas.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, we got a
Oh,
Marcus Simeon game
Oh,
worn.
there you go.
There we go.
You got a piece of a bat in it.
Oh, sick.
Wait, there's
I
a
didn't know
piece
it
of
was
a bat now?
possible.
Yeah.
How do you even get the bat out? I know that's an
That's not the whole bat,
that's
Wally.
a different question that I probably shouldn't be asking. But I'm just imagining like how do you actually shave the bat?
Very carefully.
Yeah, apparently. I'm like looking for like broken bats in the corner, like just have shards of glass in it or something. Thank you, Tom.
We got a home run derby participant, Alec Bohm.
That wasn't as good as the one I had, but it's all right.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Gotta be a little competitive with this. Is there that feel when you're opening packs like this in the group where you're like, hey, I'm the one who opened that?
Absolutely.
I got dibs, basically.
Yeah, we had
Attendee.
and then we'll post on social media and then see if Top shares it. They shared a couple of our posts, our pictures this morning, and they're always cool. It's like, yeah, that's us. We pulled it.
That was not a big deal. It was me actually who got that one.
Yeah,
out.
and then I remember the first time it really hit me was a couple years after I started doing this. I was at a
Ooh,
car.
Yachty. Yadier Molina.
There you go.
There you go.
Bum.
Oh, I
You got to remember who you're talking to. Yep.
was going to say, I
all I know,
got
Central.
the pain with the Pirates. He dominated us too. But, I got to at least tip the cap into winning 60 games a year. All right.
So I was at a card show in Chicago, and there was I think it was Glaber Tours, like a 101 card, and it was in a showcase, and they were selling for thousands of dollars. I pulled that card. I remember.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah, I was walking by. I'm like, I remember pulling that card.
Oh, yeah, you probably have a strut the rest of the night.
Yeah, but it all. You know what? It's
There you go. Your
got?
Chicago Cubs.
yeah. 2025 World Series champ, Chicago Cubs.
Uh-oh.
Get projected around 90 wins. It sounds like.
Every time I ever pull a Mets, I always say it's the last place Mets.
Well, they're due to fall off, right? Like, yeah, that's all it is.
Got a Brent Rooker.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
fun.
another one of the. So when it's down, that's on purpose then.
Yeah, it's to alert. It's kind of alert.
Just
Okay.
like, hey, this is the card of the pack, basically.
Yeah,
More or
hit.
less?
Yeah, sometimes they'll do it on different, like sometimes like if it's a photo variation and it's kind of a heads up, like, hey, this is you may think it's the same, but take a deep look and really go through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, but series one, there's series 1, series 2, and update. They complete that full top set, and it's just a great time to rip and see the new photos. And then what happens then, they'll take series 1 kind of sets the stage for the rest of the year. So a big set is called like Topps Chrome, but it's the same design as in series 1. And so if you're really into sports and the cards, like it's just a celebration of it. But,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, you can even see why in this. So this, the actual box that you just opened up, what did you say that one runs for again?
those are $99. Yep.
Okay.
And $99 hobby box. We have a jumbo version that's $199, and then we have some like retail versions as cheap as $30. So
Well,
it's
we're
been
flying through this with the three of us in the course of 15 minutes, and we're
Yeah.
still opening carts. To give
Yeah.
you an idea, like you're going to be able to not only. Oh, Connor Joe, sorry, I got sidetracked. I got my Pittsburgh Pirate.
That's all you're hunting for right now.
I mean, I saw the O'Neal Cruz, and I'm like, that's my guy.
Ooh, Kobe Mayo.
cool. Yeah, that's
There
a
we
big
go.
rookie this year.
Yep.
Mayo. Yeah, we had a guy in our store pull a Mayo autograph today.
Ooh,
Really cool.
There we go.
So Brent Rooker, this Rooker card that you hand me, or the pack, it's purple, and so it's serial numbered to 250. So it's 128 to 250. So that's a big thing in cards. You know, obviously the lower number, the better.
Right.
If it's numbered to 1, obviously a 1-to-1 or 5. There's usually 1-to-1s, 5, 10s, 25s, 50s, 99, 150.
I was going to say that 250 is that going to be one that's almost like the number one, or is that
No.
because it's so far down the line? It's no big
Believe
deal?
it or not, in the world of the internet, it's not much because because there's 200, even though there's 250. But like when I was a kid, remember in 91 Donruss Elite Series had Ryan Sandberg autograph cards. They made 4,000 of them. Right?
Okay.
But they were so hard to find because there wasn't eBay. You couldn't just go online. You had to go to your local card shows. If there was 4,000 of an autograph right now, it would be almost laughable how easy it would be to hit.
Okay.
Find that?
But it also, the biggest difference when I was a kid is when they started printing in January, they didn't stop. So when Topps now and the other companies, when they make a set and they release, it's done. There's no more printed.
Forever.
So and they actually, people used to question it. So what they did, and they still do, the actual plates there's 4 printing plates per card, different colors. They actually put them in the set, so you can pull a printing plate.
Okay.
And it was kind of their way of saying, see, it was not
Like
really.
proof
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Okay.
I don't even know what would a printing plate. Well, we got one left each.
So
This is
All right.
it.
we actually
This is the one.
We pulled a no, it was a Pirates printing plate today. It was O'Neal Cruz, like a 1-run printing plate. It's
Congratulations.
It's not. It's
Wally.
literally worth like $30.
Hey, cut his mic. Nah.
Don't tell Wally that. Wally will pay more than 34.
I was going to say, be careful what you say.
Go
I
on
guess.
eBay. Go on eBay and start bidding them up.
Yeah, I mean, I might just run them all
Got a
up.
Cal Ripken.
There you go.
Oh, I got a Shohei in here.
Yeah, so Cal Ripken, the 1990 design. I like the 90 design.
I do too.
That's
The
pretty nice.
yellow backdrop with
Yeah.
the black lettering.
Yeah, Shohei.
God, anytime I get a Shohei, I just like imagining. I'm like, all right, well, I bet that's pretty good. No pun intended.
Is there any significance to when it's like horizontal, like it's flipped 90 degrees? I got Ellie sliding into a base here.
So not really.
Okay.
When for believe it or not, so different autograph cards, they're worth less if they're horizontal.
Ooh.
People prefer the vertical cards. It's,
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of goofy, and so when you're buying a card at a show with someone and it's horizontal, I'll be like, it's worth more if it's vertical. But yeah, I don't know why. It's just it is. But,
Well, the only thing
Just
I
like
can think
aesthetics?
of is you have them in the actual container next to each other, having the one on its side. It's just a
it's
goofy
Inconvenience,
throw it off.
yeah.
But yeah, the Ellie's cool. I mean, anytime you get to the cruise a year, so yeah, there's it's fun. It's a great hobby. It's a great, we had a lot of people in our store that just they'll buy a box and they're like, I just can't go home and rip it with my kids. And like when you own a shop, like that's a pretty fun thing to
Yeah.
hear. So, but then also we'll go to shows or you go to different events. You'll meet other collectors and they'll watch your videos. They'll be like, wow, it's so awesome. I've watched you rip cards for years. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So weird.
Has the community grown a decent amount over the 9 years that you guys have been in business? Just people you're interacting with online?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we first started, it was just like a Facebook group. And I remember when we got 1,000 people in our group, we were like celebrating. And
Yeah.
when we used to do it all on Facebook, and I think when we got around 20,000, that's when we knew things were changing with Facebook, and we knew the hobby was changing, so we invested in building our own app. And then, we're getting, I think this weekend we got like 150 downloads, like new downloads. So it's constantly growing.
Yeah.
And that's really, really what we want, and to keep growing the app, and we keep doing more and more and more. And it's fun. And we have like 13 employees at our Waupun store. We employ a lot of people in their, provide for their families, and that's really rewarding. And just we have a good crew, and so so there's so many ways to collect. You can come hang out, you can buy a box in the store, you can go through singles, you can watch the stuff online. Like what we don't want to be is transactional. That's the last thing you want to be. And so really community based. And we have this phrase. It's a little goofy, but it really is like the core of our business is we collect friends. Like you become friends with your fellow collectors.
I like that.
And so that's like our focus. And we always say, well, why are we doing this? What would you do for your friend? Right? Bring it back to that. What would you do for your friend? And so if you focus on that, and then the rest takes care of itself. So.
Well, Tom, we only have about a minute left, but I'd love to hear if you want to tell everybody at home about your app a little more, where they can watch you do these breaks tonight.
Yeah, so if you just want to watch on YouTube, just Real Breaks Live is where we're on that. But really the best way to interact is on the Apple or Google Play Store. If you do Real Sports Cards, you can scroll through, you can see the breaks that are for sale, you can see the breaks that are full and waiting to rip, and then you can see the breaks that are already ended. We always tell people if you just want to learn about a product, and you just watch a case. You can scroll through the end and watch the hits. You can watch, when we had a Barry Bonds autograph pulled in our Minnesota store, and I know from that a lot of people will scroll and find out when it's pulled and watch that clip of when it's pulled.
Get that raw excitement.
Yeah, get that excitement. We're on all socials between the TikTok world, Instagram, Twitter is Real Breaks Live is what we constantly go at. Facebook page for Real Sports Card Wisconsin. And again, I said we'll have more information about that next Saturday from 4 to 7 to have. Your arm will probably be in a cast after bowling.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you're welcome to come. And so it's 4 to 7, and then we'll have pizza at 5:30. We'll be doing a lot of giveaways, and it's Topps Hobby Rip Night. It's like a nationwide, actually a worldwide event that they're doing. Free T-shirts, and it's going to be fun. And you think like it's a mess. It's chaos, but it's really, really exciting. And we do the online or the in-person events. That's one of my favorite things. So we'll get people driving from Madison, Milwaukee, but a lot of people from Beaver Dam, from Columbus, from obviously Waupun being in there. But yeah, our average person in the store probably drives 45 minutes.
Okay.
Which is pretty wild. We do offer Pokemon. I don't know much about Pokemon, to be completely honest with you, but we do offer it, and we sell quite a bit of it, more than I ever thought we would. But yeah, not only is baseball, football, basketball, hockey. So we are Upper Deck approved, which is pretty hard to do. So you can buy hockey hobby product. There was a hockey release today called the Lure Hockey. So football, basketball, baseball, hockey, Pokemon cards, and if you just want to check it out, it's downtown Waupun. It's pretty cool. We bought this building. We didn't know what we were doing. It's like a 140-year-old building, and we made it cool. So
you wouldn't know that by going in it. It looks like freshly refurbished.
Yeah. I didn't really grow up from money, so we spent every dime we had and maybe a little bit more on that building to make it cool. But yeah, it's a passion, and people will say man, I can really tell you're really into this. I'm like, well, you should be. If you're going to do something in life, be all in, and it's done well for our family and for other people's families, and we just keep growing and enjoying the hobby, collecting friends.
That's awesome. Well, we can tell you have a genuine love for it, and thanks so much for bringing the packs here that we can open live on the air for Series 1. That's awesome.
Cool.
All right, we'll definitely have you back on, Tom. This was too much fun. You can't get away from me that easily.
Awesome.
I feel like my heart's racing a little bit. I pulled a piece of a bat. Let's go.
That's
pretty sick. I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't know it was possible either, to be honest with you.
Tom, we appreciate the time, and hopefully we see some of our friends out there on the 22nd, a day removed from Wally's, whatever you want to call it.
Yep, depending on how the arm is, you might see me out.
All right. Back for Friends of the Program in just a couple of minutes here on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
You got a friend in me.
Well, thank you very much to Tom from Real Sports Cards in Waupun for stepping in and opening a ton of cards with us, and that helps you and I, Wally, because we don't really know what's valuable at the moment.
Well,
Tom's here to educate the community on that.
Ends up drafting these with you, because we found out he's leaving these for us, which was a total mistake. I'm gonna end up I gotta figure out how not to ruin these just by looking at them. But I will say the 22nd, I'm pretty fired up. Assuming the arm is still attached to the body, I plan on going.
I'll drive you there. You won't have to worry about holding your right arm up.
That's good.
And your
I was
left
gonna say
arm up.
horse and buggy or something. I don't care. I might have to walk.
I'll be your driver on the way there. All right, let's hit at least one of your friends of the program audio bits here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start. Actually, we're going to move over, and now we'll go with that. We're going to go Barry Alvarez in the state of Wisconsin football currently.
These guys have to fight their ass off to get back into that groove.
Well,
and I hope that they understand that. They've got a responsibility. I don't like where we are right now. They need to bounce back and put this program back where it belongs.
Someone's pissing vinegar.
I was going to say, I'm happy that I pulled that one there because your reaction immediately.
Pissed.
Oh, he's angry. You still feel that fire from Coach Alvarez. He wants to be on the sideline still.
Oh, there's a reason that the football team wasn't performing the way they are right now when he was there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
He made sure he even brought that up in that too. He said, we didn't win for a million years, and then all of a sudden we couldn't stop for 20-something years.
You don't want to disappoint that man. That's for sure.
That's
All
for
right.
sure.
Well, thank you very much to Tom from Real Sports Cards in Waupun for joining us. Homer Hour is coming up next from 5 until 6 p.m. More prep sports coming up tomorrow, coming up Friday. Had the day off today on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Have a great night.